and thank you for staying with us. Now, cross-examination continues in the Zandile Gumede fraud trial. Defence is still debating the documents and the internal report that led to the municipality or Mbuso Ngobo approving the acquiring of the forensic service provider to investigate the Durban solid waste tender. Ngobo has admitted that there were no minutes and no internal support or report before they sought the service of IFS. Now, our senior reporter Dasen Thatiah is following this case and he joins us now live from the High Court in Pietermaritzburg. Dasen, how has the trial gone so far today?
Oh, Maseko, just one correction. We are at the Durban High Court, and so far it's been largely about that report. So remember, when court adjourned last week on Thursday, it was for the purposes of supplying that information to the defense. They asked for that. They wanted the report that would have preceded the IFS forensic investigation. So for the viewers that have been following this case, they remember that there was a process to how the forensic report came to be. Initially, there was a bundle of documents that was dropped off with the CIIU, that's the City's Integrity and Investigation Unit. But there should have been some kind of process that occurred within that unit before the work was outsourced to the IFS. That's what the defense is now targeting. They're trying to understand how that came to be and whether all of the procedures were followed internally first, because you'll recall that the CIIU, with its mandate, does a lot of its own investigations, but in certain cases like this one, it then outsources that. So the defense, in essence, today, and it was the first time I think we heard it directly, Advocate J. Naidu saying that in his cross-examination, and he told the court this after asking the court to excuse the witness, Mbuso Ngobo, who's the head of that unit, he said that he wants to prove in his cross-examination that there was no process really that was followed, but instead this was politically motivated and that this was a plot to implicate Zandile Gumede in everything that had been going on. So he says that he will set out to prove that there was no anonymous tip-off or no whistleblower that had come through and dropped off these documents, but instead that there were other shady dealings, really, to paraphrase, that were taking place, which would have led to this investigation and ultimately the criminal matter that we're now dealing with.
And Dasen, I'm sure you are on a lunch break at the moment. Are we expecting Ngobo to continue, or rather the testimony currently to continue after this lunch break?
So Ngobo will be back on the stand after we go back into court at about 2 o'clock. So remember what he was meant to do during this period, but so as not to delay court processes. This is happening parallel to the continuation of the cross-examination. He is meant to source documents that will now show when a forensic panel was appointed. And I just want to contextualize this for you quickly, Maseko. The eThekwini municipality had 17 service providers, so essentially 17 companies that were dealing with forensic investigations. What the defense now wants to know is, with the other 16 companies that were apparently busy at the time, which resulted in IFS getting this investigation, what were they busy with? When were those cases allocated? And how many of them were still yet to be completed? So they're trying to find out, why did this matter go directly to IFS? So hopefully when we continue, when we go back at 2 o'clock, some headway should have been made in sourcing those documents. But despite that, the cross-examination by Advocate J. Naidu will continue, setting out to prove what I said a short while ago, that in fact, as they put it, there is no whistleblower in this matter.
All right, senior reporter Dasen Thatiah live for us outside the Durban High Court. Thank you. Let's leave it there for now.